Hi there, and welcome back to Journeys by Jingle, the podcast where we talk about all things travel. I'm your host, Jennifer, and today we're going to talk about the end. But is it really? I'm talking about August. For most of us, August signals the end of summer and a shift in our focus. But when it comes to travel, August might actually be the beginning of something new. So if you're ready for it, let's dive in. So let's talk about August. My hot take is I hate August. That's probably because I live in Texas and it is hotter than Hades. Everybody sees August as the end of summer, back to school. And I get that. It is kind of a shift in our focus. But for some reason, this is when I get busy. And here's why. So in the travel industry, we have what is called wave season. Generally, that runs from January to March. It's when everybody books their vacations. For me and my personal travel business, my personal wave season seems to run August to October. And I think that is because, again, August is when everything is starting to change. The kids are going back to school. Families are starting to look back on their summer vacations and wanting to plan for the next summer vacation. Disney and Universal start Halloween and they start pumping out all of that Halloween content. And people are wanting to either get in for this year or they're going to want to start planning that trip for next year. It is football season and pumpkin spice. Now, I'm not a big pumpkin spice fan, but I am a football fan. Go Patrick Mahomes, go Chiefs. So, looking back over summer, I really do believe that that is what makes you start dreaming for the next summer. School schedules and club schedules are out. So you can really kind of start to nail down those vacation dates, even if you're a grandparent and you don't have kids of your own with school schedules, you're probably trying to figure out, hey, when can we fit in a vacation and still see our kids and grandkids, or when can they go on vacation with us? And you really start dreaming about the next vacation. Now, I am going to say something that maybe not everybody would agree with, but if you have the ability to travel in what I call shoulder seasons rather than summer, dream about that rather than restricting your next vacation between the months of June and July. Start thinking about maybe traveling in September, October, April, May, right in there. Again, this is when airfare finally starts opening up. I am checking weekly, waiting on airfare to open up for my group cruise trip to Alaska. I'm monitoring air for everybody, and it hasn't opened yet, but it's getting close. I can see, the airlines start opening up that availability and it starts moving along. Again, I've already had people reaching out for trips next year. Of course, everybody knows about the Alaska trip. I've talked a lot about that. I'm also currently researching Hawaii for a client right now. And I think I may have mentioned it, but I do have another group cruise next fall for New England and Canada to see the fall foliage. So I'm getting things in line for that. I'm taking reservations for that as well. So as you can see, August, you know, is the beginning of change. It's the beginning of setting up 2028. And here's kind of what I'm seeing behind the scenes. Alaska is still a super, super popular destination. It seems to be on everybody's bucket list, land tours as well as cruises. And I am doing that group cruise, but I have to say, in researching, I totally get the land tour option. If you're really just invested in Alaska itself, um, that land tour is amazing. You may hear my dogs in the background. Sorry. Also, cruise lines are offering deals for early booking. Royal Caribbean just did a fabulous deal. Kids sailing free. So, if a cruise to any destination is, a thought, of yours. You want to start researching that now because cruise lines have started moving away from having those last minute deals, and instead they are rewarding those people who are booking early. So we really want to start researching that now. Um, and when we wait, it limits our options, not only on what deals may come about, but also on availability. On this Alaskan cruise, again, I'm seeing cabin categories completely sold out. And we're just under a year away. I had someone reach out looking to do a group cruise in May or July, like for their personal friends and family, and they were asking me to set it up. And group space is becoming limited for next May and July. So we really want to start looking at those options and getting things in the pipeline. So booking early, again, just so you know, it offers more options. You have better choices, flexibility, and 100% less stress. You don't want to be cramming all of those travel decisions into the last minute. Give yourself time to really consider your options. I am here mainly to do the research for you and present you with, two or three options that fit into what you're looking for. But at the end of the day, it's your decision as to which option to go with. And you want to give yourself plenty of time to make those decisions. So if we're going to talk about what is new, let me tell you about something new that I am excited about. I realized something recently. I spend all week answering travel questions about Disney, about cruises, about Hawaii, and I thought, wouldn't it be fun if those conversations all happened in one place? So I created an exclusive group. It is Jennifer's Travel and Vacation Club Cruises, Europe, Hawaii, and Alaska. And you can find that on Facebook. It is exclusively a Facebook group, um, members only. This is not where you come to, you know, buy the neighbor kids popcorn or to talk about the political climate in America. Please, let's not. It is focused solely on travel. Where have you gone that you absolutely loved and are dying to go back to? Um, what fabulous travel tips do you have to share? And it is a community where we can all kind of bounce ideas off of each other and get travel inspiration, travel tips, that sort of thing. So it's not really a place where we are going to focus on where I'm not going to broadcast the latest and best deal that's out. It is more just about gathering information to make your next trip one that is absolutely unforgettable. So if you are interested in that, absolutely go and request to be a member. You can just look it up, and I will also put the link down in the show notes. So, what is coming this fall as far as the podcast? What are we going to be talking about? Well, for sure, I want to spend time talking about Universal and Disney because their Halloween setups or fall setups for Halloween are incredible. Disney offers Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And even if you don't want to do Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, if you are looking at a Disney vacation, I absolutely love once fall decorations go up. Their fall decorations are absolutely beautiful. It's going to get noisy. My husband just got home, so forgive the noise that is about to come our way. Also, if you do like super scary, spooky stuff, Halloween Horror Nights at Universal is calling your name, and you want to get that on your to-do list because it is not my cup of tea. I do not like being scared, and it is scary. But for me personally, one thing that I'm really looking forward to sharing with you guys is I do have a Disney trip coming up. It is kind of going to be interesting, actually. It is going to be my last Disney trip for a while. I know. hold back your shock. And I have really 3 nights at Disney. So honestly, only 2 days in the Disney parks. That is going to be interesting. I am going to spend one night at Universal and one day hopping between Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. And then I am boarding the Disney Fantasy for a 5 night cruise on Halloween on the high seas. So, yes, there is even Halloween on cruises. And so I am going to come back and share all of that with you. And before I go, I'm going to also be sharing like some travel tips, things that I pack, things, that I just feel like make travel easier. So that is where we are. And before we wrap up, I have a favor to ask. If you have been enjoying these conversations, even if this is the very first episode you've listened to, would you take just a second and hit the follow or subscribe button on either Spotify or YouTube, wherever you're listening to this? It doesn't cost anything, but it really does help more travelers discover the show. And it lets you know when a new episode drops each week, which is usually every Monday at 11 a.m. And if today's episode made you think of a friend who's always talking about someday taking that dream vacation, send this podcast to them because travel is always more fun when we get to dream about it together. Remember, I also started that private Facebook community where we can keep these conversations going between episodes. And that's where I'll be sharing travel tips, destination ideas, behind the scenes stories, and answering your travel questions. Again, you can find that link right in today's show notes, and I would love to see you there. In fact, come over and tell me what's one destination that's been sitting on your bucket list for years. Come tell me inside the Facebook group or send me a message. I read every single one. So next week, we're officially kicking off spooky season. We're talking Halloween travel from Disney's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And I already have hot takes about that. And then we're going to continue on the following week talking about Universal's Halloween Horror Nights and some of my favorite fall destinations. If you love crisp mornings, pumpkins, haunted houses, or just an excuse to travel in your favorite hoodie, you won't want to miss it. Until then, keep dreaming, keep exploring, and remember, life is too short to wait for someday. I'll see you next week.